The transition from the 20s to the 30s is an exciting and essential part of every individual's life journey. As a young man in your 20s, there are several skills you need to learn to navigate through the other aspects of your life that follow college. In this video, I will share with you 9 skills that every man should learn in their 20s. 1. Starting a conversation. Building a discussion is one vital skill that is often underrated. Most people assume that it is a thing for only the extroverts and should indeed remain such. Although, when it comes to conversing with people, temperaments and personalities have a role to play, in the long run, we decide to build whatever attitude and personality we desire. As a young man, whether you are an introvert or extrovert, if you take it up as a challenge to start conversations, exciting conversations with a random person, you'll be surprised how much you will benefit. Being able to start conversations can help you build tangible networks and relationships, get insights on important matters, and come across new opportunities. Every young man in his 20s ought to develop practical conversational skills. In the words of American designer Jonathan Ive, the best ideas start as conversations. 2. Facing rejection. No doubt, being rejected is a bad experience, be it from an employer, a potential client, or your crush for many years. Still, the fact remains that in your lifetime, you will face countless numbers of rejections, unless you want to settle for just anything. However, more essential than the rejection itself is how you handle it. Studies show that our reaction to rejection is often based on elements and events from our past. This means that most times the pain you feel after being rejected is not a product of that particular rejection, but a buildup of past disappointments. As a young man in your 20s, if you hope to attain greater heights in life, you must learn to deal with rejection. There is a need for you to understand that behind every success a man achieves are a series of rejections and setbacks. The difference between the successful and miserable individuals is that the firm use rejections as stepping stones, whereas the unsuccessful remain mired in the pains of past rejections. 3. Keeping promises. Many times when people talk about integrity, they relate it to only being trustworthy, transparent, and honest in dealings. Certainly, trustworthiness and honesty are a part of integrity. Keeping promises is likewise a fraction of it. It is always so easy to make promises, but creating reality is often difficult. People believe that apologies and makeups are perfect remedies for breaking a promise. Thus, they break them without proper considerations. As a young man, not only does your ability to keep your words show that you respect the other party, it also increases the trust and regards the other person or group of people have for you. It does not matter how insignificant you assume your promises are, stick to them at all times. According to an anonymous writer, men with good intentions make promises, but men with good character keep them. It does not matter how lovely your intentions are, as long as you do not keep to your words, the good intents are sabotaged. 4. Making requests. Everyone would love to get what they desire, but then only a few people can appropriately ask for what they want. Many people would rather keep short and then make requests because of the fear of refusal, while some others perceive that asking is a sign of weakness. Nevertheless, if you're confident and assertive about what you want, you will get it. As a young man in your 20s, if you can develop the courage always to state clearly and confidently what you want, every aspect of your life, especially your career and finances, will move to greater heights, faster than you can ever imagine. American author Stacy Strutz says there is no harm in asking, only in letting an opportunity slip by without trying. 5. Anger control. Anger is a normal emotion. We feel it every day, and it is not out of place. Nevertheless, just like rejection, our reaction matters more than the fact that we felt angry. As a young man, one vital skill that will take you far in life is the ability to calm your nerves even when the situation around you requires that you spark. The more you calm your nerves, the more patience will come naturally as you grow older. Furthermore, While anger is a negative emotion, it can be an excellent tool for self-development and goal smashing if it is properly channeled. According to clinical psychologist Mitch Albert, PhD, anger provides us with the emotional fuel to advocate for ourselves, to take skillful action, and to stand up for what's right. Anger and rage can be directed to a positive venture. The earlier a man learns how to control his anger and lead it to a positive path, the better for him. 6. Resilience. Resilience is the key to withstanding and surmounting any challenge or test that life brings. Thankfully, resilience is a skill that can be cultivated and nurtured. Legends say that Thomas Edison, one of the greatest inventors who ever lived, produced several thousands of prototypes for the light bulb before finally getting it right. Despite being hit by failures several times, Edison never let go of his dreams. He gave the world many amazing inventions, such as motion pictures, telegraphs, etc. What if Edison had allowed failure to get the better part of him? What if he was not resilient enough to continue trying? Would he have made such a massive impact on the world? Unlike your 30s and beyond, your 20s is a period where you are relatively free from responsibilities. The freedom you experience in this phase makes it perfect for you to test extremes, fail, and learn to have a bounce back. If you dedicate yourself to acquiring resilience in your early years, there is absolutely nothing that will deter your spirit later on in life. 7. Stress management. Our methods of dealing with stress may differ, but the pressure is a common phenomenon in everybody's life. Stress management is the process of being able to handle stress correctly. It involves determining your stressors and seeking for appropriate healers. Stressors are activities and events that cause stress, while healers are things that reduce or eliminate stress. Many men go about their daily activities feeling drained and worked out without taking the time to sit and solve their stress issues. They assume stress to be a part of life. Even though stress is a part of life, when left unattended, it can cause great havoc in our mental and physical health in the years to come. Thus, if you are a young man seeking to be more productive and to live a healthy life in your old age, you should learn to handle stress properly. 8. Budgeting. Although very much underrated, your ability or inability to budget determines your financial state. According to Cleverism.com, budgeting skills involve conscious decision-making about the allocation of money, such that expenditures do not exceed the income. Many people perceive budgeting as a tedious task that is meant for only individuals with large businesses and income. Many young men in their 20s even assume that budgeting is not something that they should do because they do not yet have responsibilities. But it is never too early to start budgeting. Budgeting at a young age sets you on track because it allows you to keep adequate records about your finance. That will set you up for things like buying a car, investing, and owning a house. 9. Giving a good handshake. Recent research suggests that having a good handshake influences the opinion of those interviewing you. Whereas a social media poll recorded that about 70% of people do not feel confident about giving a proper handshake. So, what if the reason behind you not getting the last job you interviewed for was your weak handshake? University of Iowa business professor Greg Stewart researched 98 students, which revealed that handshakes matter more than we think. In the survey, 98 students were made to participate in mock job interviews with business representatives. At various times during their interviews, the students met with 5 trained handshake raters who subtly introduced themselves and shook hands. These raters scored each student on handshaking. At the end, when the interview results were compiled and compared, it was discovered that the students who scored high with the handshake raters were considered the most hireable by the interviewers. Thus, as a young man with strong professional aspirations, you should learn how to give firm handshakes early. Mastering a few tangible skills before 30 is something that every man should aspire to attain. When you learn skills, you increase your chance for a better life and enhance your attractiveness to a virtuous woman.